Hi everybody, happy Sunday. I hope you've had an amazing week. Today for this episode of Sunday School, I want to talk about potted gels. Our potted colored gels are actually one of our principal products in our line, and I think they get overlooked a little bit in the American market. A lot of people really like using bottle and brush colors like our Nail Thoughts bottle color collection, and they kind of overlook the potted gels because it's a little bit of a question mark to them. They're not really sure why they should choose this over a bottle and brush color, so I'm going to be going over a couple special characteristics of these potted gel colors with you guys and explaining to you why I would choose them over bottled brush colors in general. There are uses for both and I want to explain them to you. So let's get started. So let me introduce you to our potted gel line. So this is called our Excel line. You'll see on the actual pots, it says E. This is Blackest Black, it's my favorite one. It says E148. Now the E stands for Excel because this is our Excel line of colors. So that's kind of how they differentiate certain different things that might be a little bit different in different pots. So these potted gels are a very high viscosity. They are pure gel and only pigment, which technically, yes, is the same as our Nail Thoughts line. But these, like I said, are thicker. They have a higher viscosity, so painting with them, you can actually get very, very dense pigmentation out of a very, very small amount of gel, which is great for when you're painting over structure because it means you can get a very thin coat to get that opaque finish, and you don't have to do coats and coats and coats, which is going to end up, affecting your shape a lot of the time. So that can be very, very advantageous, and that is one of the reasons I love using potted gels. So here's an example of me painting with E163 Bordeaux Grape. This is a really, really beautiful color, and you can see that I'm applying a lot of pressure with my brush, which means I'm brushing that product out very, very thin, but we're still getting really rich, full pigmentation, even when I'm going over top of this tinted builder base. So it's a really, really great way to impart a dense amount of color in one swipe without having to layer on extra coats and losing your shape and potentially, creating more drama, taking more time in your service. It's a very, very handy thing to have in your back pocket. Now, a lot of people also look at these potted gels and notice that they're quite a bit smaller than these bottle and brush gels. This is Nail Thoughts Boba Date NT18. This is our black counterpart to the Blackest Black, but you can see obviously it's quite a bit larger. Now again, going back to the viscosity of these gels, because they're that much thicker and because you can use that much less to get that full opacity that you're looking for, you can actually get just about the same amount of applications as you can out of this bottle in this little pot, which is great, especially if you're a traveling nail tech. You can have 3, even 4 of these sometimes in comparison to some of the bottles that you're carrying around. So you have more colors in less space. Love that. Another really, really big advantage to that high viscosity of the Japanese gel is that if you are working with very, very fine detail, if you're trying to get fine lines, if you're trying to do character art, if you're trying to get really little teeny tiny details, you can really roll this out on a brush and get that full pigmentation and really get super, super fine detail because of the thickness of this product. You don't have to use very much and you can get much more accurate with your actual designs. And it's not going to bleed or anything in the same way that some lower viscosity gels would. So this is really, really advantageous for any kind of nail design. So as an example, I was able to achieve all of these ombres and color blocking and all of this fine black detail very, very easily using only Japanese gel products. And because I wasn't having to layer different layers of colors to get the opacity I'm looking for, or having to go over top of my work again and again and again, which would also sacrifice a lot of my detail, my coats were a lot thinner, so I was actually able to really smooth everything out and get that really beautiful, you see that nice light line over the entire design. It wasn't very difficult to get that perfectly smooth finish because all of my layers were super duper thin thanks to Japanese potted gel. So when would I choose a bottled gel over a potted gel, you may ask? One of the big reasons I like always having bottled gels and potted gels in my kind of arsenal is because these are really great for a lot of different kinds of designs. If you're doing marbles, if you're doing blooming designs. So if you're working with our hazy gel, where you're applying the product and you're going to apply the color into that wet gel to have it bloom and spread through the hazy gel, using a lower viscosity product is going to give it more of that dispersion. If you're using a potted gel, it's going to spread a little bit through the hazy gel, but a lower viscosity gel will definitely bloom a lot better and give you that effect a little bit faster. This is also really great for if you're blending colors together, things like that. These are always really handy to have on hand. And yes, I can't deny the ease of use with bottle and brush colors, the grab and go aspect of just being able to grab the bottle and it's ready to go. The brush is preloaded inside there. I'm never going to take that away from you. It's always going to be an aspect. But once you get used to working with the Japanese gels, honestly, I think you're going to really grow to love them. They're really an amazing product to work with. Very, very versatile. So I always reach for my potted gels first. So there you go, a little bit of insight into potted gels and why they differ from bottle gels and why you might choose one over the other. As always, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, we have our cute little question box right up here. Feel free to drop your questions in there and I'll do my best to get back to you by the end of the day. Other than that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, enjoy your week, and we will see you next week for another episode of Sunday School. Have a good one.